Hey, my name is Eric. In today's video, we're doing a review of SemRush versus Ahrefs. We're going to be getting into a lot in this video, and the goal is to help you identify which tool is the right fit for you, but also giving you nuggets and little insights that I've learned from using these tools for the last 5 years. Now, before we get to all that, one of the things I want to address is the bias that I see in a lot of these pieces of content online, whether it be videos like this or blog posts, and a lot of them are going to recommend SemRush, and the reason for that is Ahrefs over here does not have an affiliate program and they don't have a referral program, where SemRush does have an active affiliate program. So a lot of people start making content and they try to kind of lean and push you towards SemRush. I don't want to do that in this video. I want to give you information that's going to be helpful to you. So why don't we get started here? I want to just give you a little bit of backstory because I'm going to start filling in little insights and key learnings that I have figured out over the years. And I've been doing digital marketing for about 10 years, really got serious with it about 5 years ago when I started at a new job. That was September of 2016. And when I got to that job, you'll notice here that it says about 3,000 visitors per month, organic traffic. Really, it was closer to about 10,000. These tools are always underestimating how much traffic you're going to get, whether it be from a keyword or how much traffic a website is getting. So this is the report for the company that I worked at, and I had a consultant come in because I realized one of two things. We needed more traffic and we needed to convert more of the traffic that we have. And that consultant actually used to work with Ahrefs, and he told me you should get this tool and you should just start going through the tutorials, learning how to use it, which is kind of daunting because when you're looking around, you're like, this is a lot to look at. You have all your options up here, and then you have all your options on the left-hand side, which is quite a bit. Both tools are overwhelming when you get into them. But as I started to learn how to use this tool and just trying different things and testing different things out, you can see I started getting up to around 80, maybe a little over 80,000 monthly visitors. I know it looks like it's 77,000 on that day. That's actually an estimate of what the whole month would look like. And I can tell you again, we were getting like 250,000 visitors, so it's probably about a third of what we were actually getting because this tool just can't get all the data out there. It's always an estimate. Now, the first question though that I want to ask you is, what kind of business do you have? And that's because these tools are pretty different. So do you have a business that is local or regional or has local offices and is kind of spread out? Or are you a business that just kind of has like one office or home office and you can work national or even international to where you sell to? And if you answer that question, it's going to, in my opinion, dictate which way you kind of lean a little bit. And that's because if you're taking a look at the sidebars here, right? You got the menu up here. You have everything up here. They have Content Explorer, Rank Tracker, Site Audit, Keyword Explorer, Site Explorer. It's all very keyword and backlink focused. Same thing down the left-hand side with Ahrefs. And then not until you get to paid search, which is just these three things that they added in relatively recently, is the only thing really outside of like organic search and backlinks and just doing a site audit kind of thing. Now, if you go over to SemRush, you'll see these collapsed folders over here. It's SEO, local SEO, advertising, social media, content marketing, competitive research, agency solutions. So this is where it kind of separates itself a little bit from Ahrefs, is that it can get into social media, it can get into a little bit more into advertising. So you can see a lot more tools in here, like even position tracking and things like that, Keyword Gap. Keyword Gap, incredible tool that we're going to be getting to in this video for sure because it's helped me out quite a bit. But you can just see that there's a lot more going on with advertising and social media. So when you answer that question of like, what type of business do you have? Like if you're like a local plumber, the reason that a tool like SemRush might make more sense to you is because of the local SEO component. Now, this is a pretty interesting and telling thing to look up. So let's say like we're talking about plumbers in Denver, Colorado. So obviously somebody searching that, they're interested in getting a plumber. This is a very valuable keyword. Somebody like wants to make a decision quickly because they probably have an issue. Now, this is what it looks like present day. I'm making this video on November 3rd, 2021. And you can see there's literally no organic listings above the fold. Then you have what's called the snack pack. This is the Google, these listings here are pulled from Google My Business. So if you go to google.com/business is how you can set up one of these if you haven't set it up. And then you're looking at your organic listings. And of course you got like Yelp #1, Home Advisor is #3, Angie's is #4, Expertise is 5. So it's just like, it's pretty disheartening if you're trying to rank a website on here. So 60% of those organic listings are taken by what are called data aggregators. And what I mean by that is like Roto-Rooter, maybe not so much a data aggregator, like they are actually a plumbing company, but massive budgets to show up in search. consumer affairs, data aggregator. If you go to Angie's and like Home Advisor and Yelp, these services are massive. They spend millions of dollars a month to show up in these positions because their traffic is so heavily dependent on organic search. So this is where I start to see the biggest divide if you're looking at these two tools, is if you're going local, you may actually want to focus a lot of your efforts up here, because what you're not going to find in there are those data aggregator services, because you need to be able to verify your service with a local address. And it doesn't matter if you have 1 or 50 locations, you can do it for all those different locations. And then when you're using SemRush, you're actually going to have tools that are specifically meant for that local SEO listing. So another quick little tidbit too that you may not be aware of, if you're ever looking at this, you can always go to tools up here, and then you can search anytime, or you can search a custom range. So what I want to do is I want to go back maybe 5 or 8 years. I'm just going to randomly pick a date here. So we have January of 2015. And what this is going to do is it's going to show me exactly what this listing looked like in 2015. So what you can see now, this still had the 3 ads. It may have looked slightly different because this ad style is a little different, but it's just so many organic listings. And the other interesting thing is, yes, you have the best rated, but this is a local plumber. This is a local plumber. Yellow Pages, local plumber, Facebook, that easy to show up there. Somebody just had a Facebook post. Somebody on LinkedIn got in, MapQuest, Brothers Plumbing. So you notice that it's not overtaken by those data aggregators, and there's so much more real estate to own on the homepage. So again, that's why if you're local, I would say lean towards SemRush versus Ahrefs. So at this point, I'd like to actually look at Ahrefs and SemRush, just comparing different tools and the way that they work. And one of the things I talked about earlier was whether it be a keyword gap or content gap analysis. This is a tool that not a lot of people are using and is extremely valuable. So I've got this little desktop air filter sitting here. So that kind of gave me an idea to kind of start looking into something for a keyword for that. So let's say I was somebody interested in that and I go to Google to search it and I say desktop air purifier reviews. You can tell right here, you got New York Times, but this one right here, that's an affiliate website. This is an affiliate website. This is an affiliate website. Bustle might be an affiliate website, but a larger one. But these are really niche down affiliate websites. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 3 websites and then I'm going to find one that's maybe on the 4th page. And I'm going to start doing some gap analysis and show you what that looks like. And also we're going to record how long those reports take and which tool gives us more information when comparing our website to what the other websites are doing. All of this will make sense in a few seconds. So right now I went to the 3rd page of the listings here. So I'm going to pick this one that's on the very last page of the 3rd page. I want to take a look at this site. I'm guessing that you can go to the home page. Yep, this is all about air purifiers. This is just a big affiliate marketing website. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take the website, the hypothetical site that I'm interested in here, and I'm going to copy and paste it into Site Explorer. I'm going to show you a few tools inside of Ahrefs and then show you how those same tools are giving reports inside of SemRush. So right here, I can see some quick information, 0.4 domain rating. This will be called different things based on the tools you're using. But basically it's your backlink profile. What does that look like? How strong is it? 0 being the worst, 99 being like Google and Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that. So the other interesting thing too I like is traffic value. Both tools give you that estimate, and basically what it does is what would it cost if you were running paid ads on Google to get this traffic in each month? So that's not a very high number, but if I was trying to get this website increase the traffic, I'd want to get more backlinks so I can increase the overall domain rating. And one of the ways you can do that is by creating good content that's already out there, doing a little bit better and doing outreach. So I want to look at what's called Content Gap Report that's over here on the left. This is a really powerful tool that very few people are using, and it automatically pulls in your website. And I've got a separate note on the other screen here, and I'm just going to quickly copy and paste in 3 sites that all showed up on the home page when I was looking for best desktop air purifiers. So I'm going to click Show Keywords, and what this is going to do is that this is only going to show me content where these sites right here have at least one of the targets should rank in the top 10. So this is going to give me a lot of keyword ideas immediately just by kind of seeing what's already working for your competitors and what's working for them. So in this particular case, we have a lot of keywords that we'd have to go through on this. And there's already some really good ideas here, just looking at different air purifiers and seeing how this one site is doing so well for all of those. But you can go to all intersections and then drop the one target and make it so that all 3 of these sites are ranking, but your site is not. So this is going to give us a smaller list. So right from there, we went from over 7,000 keywords to 171. but my guess is that these are great keywords because all 3 websites are creating content on them and I'm not getting any traffic because of it. And oddly enough, desktop air purifier makes sense, right? Because I ended up pulling it from there. But that's a good example of a good keyword that maybe I wouldn't have thought of. So one of the number one things I learned, and it took me a while to learn it, is don't try to recreate the wheel. See what's working for the competitors in your space. See what their websites look like, what are their domain ratings, things of that nature, and then what content do they have on their site. So if I do like a quick drop down too, I can kind of see some of this information and I can say, oh, okay, like this guy is getting like 353 visitors a month estimated just for this one keyword. Like that's pretty cool. Now, if we go over to SemRush, let's see how this works on here. So we're going to click on SEO, and then what we're looking for is keyword gap. So it's not called content gap, but keyword gap. So this is me. So I'm going to put in again the airpurifiersreport.com. Some guy trying to make an affiliate buck here. And then I'm going to put in the other 3 as well. All right, let's click compare. So this is kind of an interesting report here, and then it gives you a visual of like what keywords are overlapping. So you can see like most of it is home air advisor because that's the purple, and then negative ionizers is a little smaller, and then there's kind of more overlap here. So top opportunities immediately kind of pops up here, and then you have your all keyword details. So what we're looking at right here is shared, and you can see that's 8. So if I'm correct here, that's essentially everything that is shared with all 4 services. Now, if you want to go with missing, these are the things that are going to be showing up on the other sites, but aren't showing up on your site. So this is going to be helpful because you can kind of quickly see, who's got what and in what positions. So taking a look at these reports, it's just me, and maybe it's my bias from using Ahrefs longer, but there's some things that I like on Ahrefs better. So if we go back, one of the things I like about Ahrefs is they do a much better job with filtering down based on different demographics here, or I shouldn't say demographics, but just criteria. So now what I can do is if I want to have this based on search volume of only high volume keywords, I could say, you know what, I want it from 200 and up, and I apply. And then what you're going to see is this long list here is going to get trimmed down pretty quick. If I want to take that out, I can do it based on keyword difficulty. So that again is kind of like domain rating, where let's say, the keyword is very high. It's like a 40, 50, 80. It's gonna be very difficult for you to rank because you probably don't have enough backlinks on your content, but I want to see ones that are, very low. So just only show me 0 to 10. So now what I'm getting a look at is keywords that are ranking for my competitors that are low keyword difficulty, meaning there's not a lot of backlinks being pointed at their content, and it's content that I don't have. So if you look at the same thing on here, it's a little bit tougher. Like they kind of just like, force you into these already pre-filtered things where it's like, okay, these are weak, so these might be opportunities kind of thing. But I prefer to be able to just filter that data down myself. So if I'm going to all keywords, I like the way that Ahrefs is laid out, that I can do this very easily. You can do some filters over here. So it's just like, okay, show it to me based on keyword difficulty. But I haven't quite seen how you would do this based on multiple factors. So I want to see keyword difficulty, but with high volume, So you might have to like go through this whole list or export this into an Excel file and filter the data down yourself, where it's very easy to kind of do this and very clean on Ahrefs. Now, something I don't like about Ahrefs is, for whatever reason, they don't make it easy for you to add keywords. And what I mean by that is you can always have keyword lists. So like, let's say I click on this one, desktop air purifier, you should see this pop open here. And if I want to create a new list, right? And let's say I'm saying like air purifier keywords, I can create this list, and then what I can do is I can add this to that list. It'll quickly show up, air purifier keyword ideas, all right? So now I have one keyword in there. So now we're on the keywords for missing. So if you hover over here, keywords for the U domain doesn't have rankings, but all the others entered in do. What I can do here is just go like this, and then I can add to Keyword Manager and then create a list from here and be able to add all those. So that's a little bit of a frustration I've had with Ahrefs, but kind of nitpicking there a little bit. So I'm going to guess that I don't have a whole lot going on this site. So I'm going to do a site, or I'm on Keywords Explorer. I'm going to go to Site Explorer. And this again is our hypothetical site. We're going to look at their keywords and just kind of analyze this, because this is going to be another insight for you if you're trying to grow a site that's already existing. Super helpful to do this. And what I've figured out that works well is doing refreshes of content. And the way to do that is if I'm looking at all of my organic keywords on here, and this is where those filters are so powerful, I want to see keywords that are ranking from positions 5 to 10. And the reason for that is when you're in positions 5 to 10 on the first page of Google, Google's already saying this is pretty decent content, but it's not good enough to be in the top positions where you're actually going to get a lot of traffic from it. So these are great opportunities to refresh a piece of content and be able to increase the traffic that's flowing through it. So obviously the first one that kind of pops open is this one right here. And what I would do in this particular case is I would actually click on the keyword and I want to analyze this keyword and see what it looks like as far as keyword difficulty, which is nothing, right? Not a lot of backlinks. It's got a decent volume. And then what you can look at is down here too to see like, okay, like how likely is it that I'm going to outrank the people above me? And what you'll see here is that ProBreeze is actually ranking 1, 2, 3, and then you have Amazon 4, 5, Home Depot 6, eBay 7, and then we're coming in right here. So in this particular case, this is really important. Like, don't just follow the tool. What I always do is I like going down to this report, and sometimes I'll even put it into Google just to verify that these SERPs are accurate. Because in these situations, you just have to be realistic. Like, am I going to outrank the actual website of the company and Amazon pages and Home Depot? Now, again, looking at like domain ratings, 31, 31 for the company, 95, 95, 90, 92. Do I think my 0 domain rating website is going to outrank them? Probably not. But it's always worth it kind of just throwing that in. But I like the fact that Ahrefs gives you that data right off the bat here. And you can see actually Amazon is showing up there too. What I would suggest in this particular case is if you do think there's a possibility based on that, what I would do is I would actually click on the listing here. So the one that we have is Air Purifiers Report, and I want to see an overview of this specific page now. Now, why this is helpful is that we can look at different things like, okay, there's 5 backlinks, there's 2 referring domains. I'm also interested in all the keywords that that specific page is ranking for, because it's not always just the keyword that you went for. So now I can see like, okay, 5.1 air purifier, ProBreeze mini air purifier, it's ranking for in position number 5. So these ones right over here that are 16, 20, 52, 89, hard to get those ones to move up in the search volume quickly. But what I would be interested in is, did they even mention the mini air purifier? So if I was looking at this piece of content, and I'm going to search for the mini on here, what I just found is when I did a search of the mini air purifier, I do not see one result in this piece of content. So if I was trying to get extra traffic and extra sales, because you can always see on here, these are Amazon affiliate links, I would create a H2 or H3 here. And instead of doing air cleaning features, etc., I would want to create a piece of content or even try adding it to this one and saying, hey, they also have this in a mini air purifier as well. And I would want those keywords showing up on this page. And then after you refresh those keywords, here's another tip and insight for you. If you're Google Search Console, index page forced. So I'm going to pull this up and I'll put this in the description below because this is another one that I don't see a lot of people using. And you can ask Google to recrawl your URLs manually. So in this particular case, what I would do is I would add the mini keyword there. So I'd want to make sure that this mini air purifier, and I would add this to my list, right? I'm going to go to my keyword list and go over to air purifier keywords. And I may even try to, track this keyword. And then I'm going to adjust that blog post so that there's a section specifically about the ProBreeze mini air purifier. And then I'm just going to see if I can take the position from, 5th, and maybe it starts to move up a little bit. And then I start making more sales just from refreshing that content. So let's check out what this looks like in SemRush. What you want to do is go to organic research here on the left-hand side, and I put in that URL up here. And now what we're looking at here is 11 keywords and 9 traffic. So comparing this to what we saw in Ahrefs, here you can see 11 keywords, and then over here we had 12 that were showing up in Ahrefs, so a little bit more on Ahrefs. And then if you're looking at the filters on here, they do have the filter ability on here as well. So that is nice that they have this and they have some quick listings. So again, if I was trying to refresh this, you can see though that the one that wasn't on here is I cannot find the mini one. So let's see here. Let's see if I can find mini. I do not see any mention of the ProBreeze mini air purifier. So we can clearly see we have a volume of 30. This is a keyword with a product that we could sell to. Let's check it out over here. So when you search over here, it says the global volume is 40 here, and then the US volume is 10. So underreporting a little bit from what Ahrefs is saying. But it's just interesting that Ahrefs was able to identify that this keyword is showing up on a Google search. So why don't we take a look at this again just to see what pops up. And you can see, of course, ProBreeze is on here, but what I'm looking for is our listing here on our airpurifiersreport.com. So in this very small case study right here, this is a great example though of showing how if I was refreshing pieces of content and looking for opportunities, that would have been missed on SemRush, but I would have found that on Ahrefs. So from my personal experience of using both the tools, and granted I've used Ahrefs quite a bit more, most SEOs will tell you to go with Ahrefs. I don't think that's necessarily the right thing to do for your business. So just kind of recap a little bit. Basically, it's like, what are you trying to do? If you're trying to grow a website with SEO, content marketing, and doing keyword research and backlink analysis, I would go with this tool like Ahrefs. If you're a local company and you're trying to grow your footprint locally, or you're going to run paid ads, I would definitely recommend SemRush because you have all these options that are not available on Ahrefs. I think Ahrefs is a more specialized tool for SEOs, keyword research, and things of that nature, where SemRush makes a lot of sense for a local or regional company that is looking to try to increase traffic in those areas. So one of the things that I love about content marketing and SEO, and I think it's really worth mentioning in this specific video, is that I love it because it has a residual ROI. You're putting a little bit of work in right now, and that work, if it's done correctly, is going to create a return on your investment for months and possibly years to come. Now, if you're running paid traffic, that's more like a faucet, right? You turn it on, you get traffic, and then you stop giving that whatever search engine or tool money, and you turn off that faucet, and then you no longer have traffic. So there is a little bit more immediate return when you're looking at paid. But I mention this because if you are looking at either of these tools, I wouldn't go into it with the mindset that you're going to see some like major revelation, or you're going to like be able to all of a sudden in like a month or two double your traffic. Typically not how it works. It's going to take months, could take years, but you're doing the kind of work, if you're working on SEO content marketing, that you're going to have that residual ROI. Now, if the price tag of these tools kind of scares you a little bit, and you have a local business that, you know, your budget isn't huge, let's say you got $1,000 to spend on this kind of stuff a year, you're not going to want to do it spending it on these tools. So now I have two videos on the screen. The top one is if you're a local business and these tools seem maybe a little bit too expensive, this is how I would spend your first $500 as a local business with your marketing plan. And beneath that is a video that YouTube thinks is relevant to you. Again, guys, thank you for using my links in the description below, but I hope I've done my best to give you an unbiased review of these two tools so that you can make the right decision for you. All right, I'll catch you in the next video.